everyone, and welcome to another round of 12 News Weekend. I'm Karima Devine. Here at 12 News, we strive to bring you the very best journalism in the Valley. That is why each week we'll rewind the tape to show you some of our best stories. Some will make you laugh, some will make you cry, and some will make you feel. This is 12 News Weekend.
It was a dream years in the making. At 51 years old, Sharla Peterson stepped onto the bodybuilding stage for the first time.
I was very nervous, and it wasn't until I got my pictures back that I thought, wow, I did really good.
She quickly fell in love with the sport and competed in 4 more shows in 2022, but a freak accident the following year would change everything. Sharla was doing back squats on a Smith machine when it happened.
And then it was on my fourth set that all of a sudden my back burst.
The active mother of 5 couldn't feel her legs.
My L1 vertebrae burst in half, and my part of it went into my spinal cord and created instant paralysis from the waist down.
Peterson was in surgery within an hour. Doctors told her the injury resulted in incomplete paraplegia. She could no longer walk or stand on her own.
You have hope that, okay, things are going to get really better, really fast, but then they don't, and then you realize all that has, this is my new life. This is my life. I'm in a chair, and I wake up and the chair is sitting right there by my bedside. That's what I do every day.
Adjusting wasn't easy, but Peterson refused to let her circumstances define her. Then she discovered women's wheelchair bodybuilding.
And I got really excited, and it was just like, I didn't care whatever happened with my life. I'm like, at least I can go, get back into bodybuilding and get back on stage.
After training and adapting, her hard work paid off. Peterson earned first place at the Arnold Amateurs last year and received her pro card after winning the NPC Wheelchair Nationals.
She's absolutely fabulous. She works her ass off 24/7. She has to give it 110%.
Peterson is hoping to inspire more women to compete in wheelchair bodybuilding to boost the number of competitors in her sport.
You just have to figure out how to make life work and keep going.
In Mesa, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
On behalf of Carry On, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 12 News, with service from Phoenix to San Francisco and a final destination of Mexico City. We're cleared for takeoff. Soon we'll be cruising through the clouds, but for your safety, please fasten your seatbelts because you're about to go on a thrilling ride.
This golden age of travel that oftentimes we all missed out on when it came to a plane. When they originally really had that kind of heyday, it was the 60s and 70s. Everybody got dressed up to do it. So you would have actually had a bar, I think a little bit of inspiration from Hugh Hefner in that time frame as well. And that's more what we wanted to emulate.
What kind of an aircraft are we on, and how long is our journey?
747, and technically your flight is 90 minutes.
Do you ever run into weather delays or turbulence when flying?
Turbulence is a big thing. I'll tell you, it's right about midway through the flight.
Captain speaking, just a quick heads up. We're coming up on a little turbulence ahead. No one wants to spill a drink at 30,000 feet.
You can feel it. You know when it's happening.
Is there any other place like this in Arizona?
No. I don't actually know if there's anywhere like this in the world. The aspect of the experience as well as the attention to detail. The tickets themselves were actually created off of an old school style of passenger coupon.
How do you come up with your destinations, and how do you make sure that your food and your drinks mirror those destinations or inspired by them?
We will always do an international and a national. It's really making sure that we pay homage to the food and to the beverages and to the ingredients themselves. Popularity comes into play a little bit, but it's also just culturally what we can relate to our spaces here, and then also time period. So 60s and 70s also had to flow into the cocktail menu as well. Recently, we just started our captain's cabin. There are select flights that have 10 seats available for a 4-course small tasting menu. That also includes cocktails as well.
Please tell us about the award you're up for.
I recently got nominated as a semifinalist for a James Beard Award in Outstanding Cocktail Professional. I couldn't really be more honored or humbled. My community and my peers are the ones that are a part of this voting process.
Pilot Ricky, the passengers are telling me they want to take a trip for their taste buds to a tropical place. What can we make?
I have the perfect drink. It's gonna be the Jungle Bird. If you want, you can help. We can ice it up. And we're all set.
Cheers. It's like you're flying the bar and also the plane. Wait, is it safe for you to be making cocktails and flying this plane at the same time?
At this point, I feel like the plane flies itself.
Did the thunderstorms ever trigger any trouble with the turbulence over here as you're making a cocktail?
We've gotten used to it. I got my, I guess, air legs, would you call it?
Did you ever think you'd be a pilot?
No. This is a great experience. And then right when I put the uniform on, I feel like I'm a different person. We get everyone in at once. It's kind of a rush to try to get all the cocktails out. It's definitely a fun time.
We've made it to our final destination. Use caution when exiting the aircraft. Things may have shifted a bit during flight. We hope you've enjoyed your trip with us today and hope you fly with us again really soon. Crystal Long, 12 News.
Dr. Alan Price from the City of Hope Cancer Center takes the field at the Dodgers-Giants spring training game, throwing out the first pitch.
Thank you, Dr. Price.
My
Dr.
man.
Price, this is my guy.
My man, Colin, you know, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do for cancer patients. You're an incredible advocate.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough for just making me feel so taken care of.
Followed by a touching exchange of words between actor and three-time cancer survivor Colin Egglesfield and Dr. Price.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you.
Colin, who you may have seen on NBC's Chicago Fire or in the movie Something Borrowed alongside Kate Hudson, has been tracking his cancer journey as a patient at the City of Hope Cancer Center while sharing his story to inspire others.
Because it's not just the physical, the surgery and the radiation and all that stuff. It's just the mental, emotional part of it, too.
Colin, who has battled testicular cancer twice and was most recently treated for prostate cancer, also honored on the field for his brave fight.
For people that maybe just got that diagnosis or they just got that news and they're heartbroken, what message do you have for them?
Don't give up. Don't give up. There's people out there who care.
At the top of the third inning, Colin's story of inspiration shared with the stadium. After Colin hit a pretend home run and ran around the bases, he high-fived all the players. His home run followed by a huge crowd of cheers.
This is my mom and dad, and my dad had prostate cancer, and he ultimately passed away from lymphoma, and my mom had breast cancer. And so when I rounded second base, I pulled this out and I just said hello to them, just to let them know that, I miss them, I love them, and that's really what I wanted to do, was honor them and just be grateful for City of Hope Hospital and all their amazing staff.
It's really about trying to find the cure, right? Get us to the point where cancer and diabetes are no longer things that people suffer from.
To remember this special occasion,
You got your own bag.
Yeah. Yeah, thank
Where's
you.
that gonna go?
Oh, this is going in my living room.
Colin has done so much already, but he's truly just getting started, embarking on health and wellness retreats.
What's next?
I've got a couple of movies coming out this year, and I've started to get into the role of producing as well.
Truly an example of strength to live by.
This is our mobile lab.
Sherry Oz, DEA special agent in charge of the Phoenix division, showing us inside how illicit and illegal drugs are tested. These two mobile units, a resource unique to only the DEA office here in the Valley.
The moment is now. We are at a fentanyl crisis in America. We're looking at counterfeit pills.
With large-scale drug seizures like the fentanyl and methamphetamine on this table.
This is just a Tuesday in Arizona.
Happening on a daily basis. The need to accurately test them has become vital.
Cartels have a dye, and they can make the pills into any shape, any color, any size to trick us into thinking that they're safe to take. I can't tell the difference between a real pill and a fake pill without having a lab analysis.
The mobile labs can be deployed anywhere, giving the DEA the ability to test drugs at the site of operations where large amounts of illegal drugs are taken off our streets. Inside it, a team of chemists work to identify real from fake.
Some of those pills aren't going to contain fentanyl. And we have traffickers that we're putting into custody for fentanyl trafficking who are actually trafficking a different compound that they weren't aware is in the pills.
Since last summer, the DEA says they're seeing a sharp increase in two harmful substances mixed in cocktail-like fashion with fentanyl. The first, xylazine, that's a sedative only approved for use in animals, now being mixed with one of the deadliest drugs in the world.
Combined with fentanyl, it makes fentanyl more dangerous and more deadly, if that's even possible, because it depresses your nervous system in such a way, and Narcan is not effective in combating the effects of xylazine.
The second substance, referred to as BTMPS, that's a chemical used to protect plastics from UV rays. it has no approved use on humans.
They are mixing chemicals in the basement in a jungle. They are trying to find some way to prey on Americans. And the truth is, their chemistry is not good. And what they're making is dangerous.
DEA agents in the valley using these lab tests to protect the people of Arizona from people who wish to do them harm, one pill at a time, saving lives.
I know that I'm saving other kids. And I know all my agents, my intel analysts, and my chemists feel the same way. What we do is important, and our mission, we're just not going to stop.
Sean Rice, 12 News.
It's a part of our history, and it should never be forgotten. You know, it's part of what got us to where we are now.
Kim Skelton is a former Marine and a member of the Montford Point Marines Association, a group dedicated to honoring an important piece of Black history. The Montford Point Marines were the first African Americans to enlist in the U.S. Marine Corps, breaking racial barriers during World War II.
Nobody wanted the Black Marines, so, you know, they had a lot of things that they had to go through, basically just to prove that they were worthy to be there.
Between 1942 and 1949, over 20,000 Black recruits trained at Montford Point Camp near Fort Lejeune in North Carolina. The camp was segregated, and while there, the Black Marines endured racism and subpar conditions.
And they made it harder. The training was actually harder for them because they were trying to make them fail. They expected them to fail, but they didn't.
African American Marines were initially banned from combat roles, but eventually, thousands of Montford Point Marines would serve bravely in some of our nation's bloodiest battles, in Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and later Vietnam. Their contributions paving the way for President Truman's 1948 executive order ending segregation in the military. And in 2012, President Barack Obama posthumously awarded the Montford Point Marines with the Congressional Gold Medal, formalizing their legacy in America's history.
So posthumously, they're being awarded as the families are being found and contacted. So there's, you know, it's just kind of find them when you can.
Little did Kim know she would find one of those trailblazing men in a place she didn't expect.
We were having Thanksgiving dinner here.
Former NFL player Joe Jackson is Kim's cousin.
And somehow I got to talking about it, and I showed you his honorary discharge. And then that just lit a candle for her. She said, oh my goodness, the Montford Point Marines.
The pieces didn't come together for me until he pulled out the discharge certificate, and I could see everything written right there. And at that point, it was kind of like, I don't think you know what you've got here. You know, so it's history. You know, he was a trailblazer.
Joe's father, William Lee Jackson, served in the Peleliu Islands, east of the Philippines, from 1944 to 1945.
He was a role model. He was my hero. He encouraged me, and he believed in me. And I wanted to do the things to please him. But it was tough. I was not a perfect kid.
How much about him being in the Marines did you know?
Well, not very much. He didn't really talk about the war at all. My grandmother told me that my father never drank at all. He came back from the war, and he came back a different person.
After the Marines, Joe's father worked 26 years as a letter carrier for the U.S. Postal Service while putting his 5 kids through college. He died at age 57. 80 years after his service to our country, Joe's father will be awarded with a Congressional Gold Medal at a ceremony in June.
Our whole family is excited about it, you know, and I just wish my dad could be around to receive it, obviously.
So what do you want people to know about your father's contribution?
I was thinking about that too. You know, my dad didn't do anything extraordinary. You know, he served his country. And the reason why we have this award is because of an injustice, not because my father was a valiant soldier and saved, you know, a platoon, but it's because of something that should have happened that didn't happen.
This bill is written in a very specific way. It says it would allow golf courses to allow people to bring their own alcohol, which might be a tough sell for some golf courses. Golf courses know you sneak in booze. The course general manager knows it.
I'm not going to say it never happens. Our staff is trained, though.
The bar cart knows it.
It happens pretty frequently. You'd be surprised.
Shayla Schultz has caught people doing it. House Bill 2411 would make it okay to bring your own booze on the course, if the course was okay with it, which Auction Southern Dunes general manager Brady Wilson says he's not.
It just increases our unknown of what's going on the property, and we have a responsibility to do that.
The bill applies to courses that have liquor licenses already, and a liquor license comes with some responsibilities, like not over-serving.
Typically, we communicate with each other as cart girls, so we know.
Which makes Shayla,
you can tell,
a bartender and a bouncer, not just a cart driver.
I would be concerned about keeping track of how much alcohol people are consuming.
That bill's likely to be popular with golfers because, let's face it, golf is not a cheap sport.
And I paid $84 US. That's like $30 Canadian for 3 drinks.
These guys are from Canada. All told, they dropped a good car payment at the course today.
I want to enjoy golf. I want to have a fun time. I don't want to be spending $400, $300 every time I come on here.
Which is why the bill's sponsor, Representative Alex Culloden, says he wrote it.
What I hope to do is make the game of golf and the enjoyment of golf more affordable for working class Arizonans.
The spirit of the bill was to try to reduce inflation costs of golf. But anybody that is going to allow alcohol onto their golf course is probably just going to raise their green fee prices and incorporate it into that.
Wilson said he'd be worried about the course's liability if they can't control how much someone had. Culloden says that's up to the course.
If they decide that they're going to allow BYO, obviously they have to do what you or I has to do, which is just behave in a reasonable way. And they can consult their lawyers and they can make a decision for themselves.
If this bill becomes law, it doesn't force a golf course to do anything. They can still ban outside alcohol or allow it if they want. William Pitts, 12 News.
Well, you have to ask the question, why would they allow it in the first place? It's such a great source of revenue for them.
So 12 News is dedicated to keeping you in the loop when it comes to comes to everything happening in the West Valley. A lot of people going to spring training for baseball, relaxing out there. Got quite a few spring training complexes, but it takes a lot to put all of this together.
Yeah, 12 News journalist Troy Lynch went behind the scenes of the Peoria Sports Complex to check out all of their improvements for the season and what goes into keeping these games going year-round. Troy, how's it going out there?
It's going good. It's a little cold outside, a little bit colder for prime baseball weather, but we're still having a good time, and it's always a good time here at Peoria Sports Complex. A little bit of history behind it. It was actually spring training here in Arizona's first dual-team spring training facility. Opened up in 1984, and it is a very large facility. And we got a full tour of their 13 fields that they have here, and it really is state-of-the-art. So we got a behind-the-scenes look even inside both of the clubhouses, but I want to show you one thing that was new for the Mariners. They installed these orange boxes that you see by their warm-up pitching mounds. It actually keeps track of the rotations per minute, and the pitchers are able to see everything about their pitch on a TV screen, the angle that it's going, how fast the pitch is being thrown. It's really cool. So Elliot Schweitzer, he's the maintenance supervisor, and showed me around. There are 9 full-time people on the maintenance team that work year-round and up to 25 part-timers that keep these 13 fields at this facility beautiful and up and running, not to mention the over 600 volunteers that are used throughout the entire spring training season. There are also 2 different watch towers on both sides for the Mariners and the Padres, where coaches can actually watch 4 fields at one time. It's truly state-of-the-art, and there are up to 2,700 games played a year, which means a lot of grass to keep alive. So Elliott says they do anything that they can so they can retain water, and they installed some turf areas right before the season so they could do that.
This was built in an attempt for water reduction, turf reduction. It also helps the Mariners with, once we overseed the fields and put ryegrass out after the summer grass goes dormant, it needs time to grow and heal. This gives them a place they can still play catch and continue to practice.
That's a really cool area. I didn't want to leave that area just because it was really cool to see all the players warming up and everything like that. But also, there are just so many games here at Peoria Sports Complex for the Arizona Complex League, the Arizona Fall League, all those youth tournaments as well. And then a lot of professional baseball players actually come out here for player development, and then they also come here for rehab assignments. So it's really a year-round production here at Peoria Sports Complex. So you come here for the games, but you just kind of knowing what it all takes to make sure everybody has a great experience here. It is a lot of work. But we're live here in Peoria. Troy Lynch, 12 News, Today in AZ.
It is a lot of work, but they spend, year round getting ready for it, which is what we love. And I can't wait to see those gates open and people flooding inside behind you a little bit later. Thanks, Troy.
Time now to introduce you to our Champion of the Week. A segment of 12 News along with Champion Air acknowledges an amazing athlete, star student, or overachiever in our community.
12 News journalist Rachel Cole has more.
There, yes, this Corona del Sol high school freshman is really the trifecta, owning the arts, academics, and athletics. Take a look. This 14-year-old playing the piano. A favorite composer that you like?
I like to play a lot of Frank Sinatra.
Riot Jardine, also juggling athletics and academics.
On behalf of Youth Champions of Arizona, we'd like to present you with this award, which says Youth Champion Award of Excellence. And then this gold medal. You are considered a top pianist, plus you have great grades, and you play hockey. There's something else kind of fun. In here, there's this little check, and it looks kind of like that amount. Is that a good number for you? Yes. That's kind of fun. So you get that as part of the award.
Kind of don't know what to say, I'm going to be honest.
How do you balance all three of those?
Kind of hard, but some days I just get to chill because I do my stuff in class.
Tell us a little bit about piano and why you love playing that instrument.
I like playing it because my mom played it, and she's been playing it since I was born.
His mom and dad, proud.
We are so excited and shocked, surprised.
But his piano teacher ultimately nominating him.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Hope you're having a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Riot, congratulations. All right, you are welcome. Here's your award, and here's your actual cash.
For more details and information on how you can nominate a champion in your life, just visit our website, 12news.com. We'll send it back to you from Corona High School.
Thanks again for tuning in. And remember, you can catch 12 News Weekend on Saturdays and Sundays on our YouTube channel and our streaming app, 12 News Plus. I'm Karima Devine. Have a great rest of your weekend.